after show. Party. Everyone have a Pascal pineapple lump.
Yeah, pass those around.
I want to see you down the whole rest of that bag.
We should totally do that. He should send everyone one. That way he can pass them around and just pass them around the bottom of the screen.
You could just pass them off across the screen, left to right. That sounds good.
Yeah. Except for all of our screens probably show everybody in a different order. We'd have to know what his was, but it would look really cool.
Look really weird.
Complete chaos.
You broke Gino. You showed your image, and then he was gone. He just like
Gino got offended or something. I don't know.
He just up and left.
He left in a hurry.
A lot of guys need a few minutes to themselves after some time with my images. Don't worry about it. He'll be back. He should be done by now, but he may have gone to shower. It's fine. Don't even worry about it.
So Mason, you've alluded several times to the fact that I didn't send you a card.
Oh, I'm just giving you a hard time. It's just
So if you want pineapple lumps, you're going to have to send me your address.
Okay, I'll do that. Pineapple. I don't know if I want. They sound delicious, but the name of them sounds a bit abusive. You know, pineapple lumps. For a medical problem.
Yeah, that's at the stage when you go to the doctor.
It's like I got a really bad case of pineapple lumps.
Pineapple lumps.
I'm going to show of hands for those of you on this call right now who have experienced what is called a Tim Tam Slam.
Yep.
I know
definitely.
of it because of the cohort, but I've never experienced one myself.
Never heard of it.
So the Tim Tam Slam, Tim Tams are a brand of cookie. We call them biscuits here in New Zealand. Definitely a down under thing. Hey Tiff, it's like Australia and New Zealand.
Yep. Definitely.
I think you can buy them at some places in the States, but I think when I send you a packet of pineapple lumps, I'll send you guys a packet of Tim Tams as well. Basically, there are 2 layers of cookie with a filling in the middle, different flavors, covered in chocolate. And the Tim Tam Slam is you get a hot drink, like a cocoa or a hot chocolate or a coffee or a tea, whatever. You can use cold if you want, but it's better hot. You bite off a little corner at each end, opposite corners. You dip one corner in and you suck it through until you feel the hot drink come in. On its way through the cookie, it melts the cookie and starts to melt the chocolate. And like as soon as you feel that liquid coming through, you push the whole thing in your mouth. And honestly, it is like a chocolate explosion. It's so good.
Is that like the down under version of playing quarters in college or something? Like, how'd you come up with that?
Maybe. I have no idea what you're talking about, so probably yes.
Yeah, I didn't need any more reasons to move there. I mean, it's not, it's not helping.
Should we take bets on whether Curtis is going to go back to the States?
Oh, there's no way.
No.
Hey, Ollie, I've got some Tim Tams on my screen from Chris's share way back when.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is the Tim Tam Slam experience.
Wow.
You've eaten the whole packet. It is so easy to eat the whole packet. I was on a cruise ship for 4 months when I was much younger, and we pulled into Australia, and the first thing I did was go and buy some Tim Tams for all my American friends on the ship. And we went through 3 packets in about 12 minutes. And there was 4 of us.
I don't know what to say to this Tim Tam business. I think all of us over here in the States are a little.
I'm wondering if they're like a Kit Kat bar.
Speechless.
Like a wafer.
Like a wafer, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's chocolate inside, chocolate outside biscuit. It's awesome. There's nothing.
It sounds incredibly decadent.
Yeah.
You had me at chocolate, but I'm a little confused as to the process. I feel like this is going to end like me trying to send in my votes, and I'm just going to post a picture of like chocolate and milk everywhere.
Yeah, it'll be coming out your nose.
Just to get your reactions on tape.
In the UK, we have a biscuit called a penguin biscuit, and that's the same as a Tim Tam.
Do you do the same thing with it?
I'm quite happy to eat any sort of chocolate very fast. So.
But the whole sucking the hot chocolate in your
No, just all in one.
Oh,
You ever think you're called a Tunnocks tea cake, and it's biscuit at the bottom, then mallow on top, and it's surrounded by chocolate, and it's about palm-sized, and that's best all in one because it kind of explodes in your mouth.
Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys. Hang on a second here. Oh, this is cool. For those of us in the States, I guess it's just three of us. Arnott's Tim Tam Original on Amazon.
on Amazon. On Amazon Prime, we can have it here by tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna order some.
That's the way to do it. And please record this.
So I'm guessing $11.50 a package for a 200-gram package with 11 biscuits is probably not.
That's a little
$1 a biscuit is probably not a good deal.
Yeah, we pay here about $3 New Zealand, which is about $2.20 US.
Oh, wow. They're so much cheaper in New Zealand. What's that about?
Well, look at all these flavors. There's peanut butter, red velvet, chewy caramel, dark chocolate, honeycomb crush.
You guys probably have cinnamon because you pretty much have cinnamon in everything. So if you do get a cinnamon one, please send me a packet. I'll swap it for anyone. But this is the secret, okay? You got to buy the original. You don't have to. But if you got friends coming over, the original packet has 11. All the flavors have 9 cookies.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, the original is the way to go if you're sharing.
Oh, here's a value pack. 330-gram value pack for only $17.39. Australia's favorite chocolate biscuit.
Where's it shipped from?
It's fulfilled by Amazon, so evidently they're stateside, but it's made in Australia, imported from Australia.
So they're like a year old, and they've been sitting in the Amazon warehouse.
Probably all the outdated ones that the
Yeah.
down under people rejected.
All right, kids, that's about it for me. I got another appointment coming up in about 15 minutes, so.
I think we
I gotta
lost
cut
her
out.
at Tim Tam.
No, I'm ordering some, but
I'm
then
gonna
going
try
to
it.
another
I'm
meeting.
gonna try this too. So
I'm gonna bring them to the next Creation Wars I'm on.
Yeah, what
way
we
Ollie
need
can teach
is
me how to do
we need
it
a
properly.
specific category within the Grand Library for everyone to upload their Tim Tam experience videos.
That's awesome. I fully support it. Maybe we can do it in the artist atrium. That'd be cool.
all right,
Be like
Thanks
a
so
hazing
much,
thing.
everybody. Thanks. It was really fun tonight.
just place my order. 2 packages
All
of
right.
Tim-Tams.
See you guys soon. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Luckily, I wasn't screen sharing your screen while you were entering your credit card details there, Mason.
That's okay. It wasn't showing it. It's already entered. It's in the system. Yeah.
We got the one click.
Yeah, I got the one click. So yeah, we love Amazon, but yeah, that sounds crazy. So it reminds me of a time I went to Canada on an assignment. It was back when I was a newspaper photographer. I went to Canada on assignment, and we went into a convenience store to grab some food on the way up, and there was a candy bar there called Mr. Big. And it wasn't a candy bar we had in the U.S. And in Canada, everything's got to have French writing on it as well. And in French, it said mon nom is I'm going to slaughter it, is Mr. Long. It translates to my name is Mr. Long. And then in English, it says when you're this big, they call you Mr. And I was like, man, that candy bar would sell really well in the U.S. I mean, it was.
Totally. That's a Jessica Light kind of candy bar, that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised she probably has a box of them. But yeah, I bought several of them, gave them as gifts because they were hilarious. But
Looks like Gina has to go, so thanks, Gina. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
yeah, nice job,
Bye.
Tina. Good work. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Coming at the last minute and take it out.
Yeah. Beat me up. You know, I don't know what to do, you guys. Maybe I need to. I don't really have room in my court for somebody new, but maybe I should find an apprentice that does nothing but naked lady pictures.
That's one strategy.
You know, that's just my ringer for the Creation Wars.
you're missing what Jessica actually did today. That's a very cunning trick for selecting the images and showing them. You guys are all sitting there going, here's this awesome image, and here's another awesome image from this guy, and here's another awesome image. She just goes, this is my image. And everyone's like, whoa, that's what you got to go for.
Yeah, I'm finding, too, that, now that I've done this 3 times unsuccessfully, so masters that are watching out there, you can learn from my mistakes. I've been trying to play to the other masters' softer sides, kind of touch on why we do this, and like, oh, this person's learning a lot, they're a wonderful apprentice, let's reward their efforts, and all that. It just doesn't fly with these people. It's like, my previous 2 losses were also close, supposedly. They're always close. Close means nothing here, but it was like, you look at the images, you're like, I'm not sure why people voted for that one, but
You're not better, Mason.
I'm just not better. Yeah, I'm finding that I'm the farm league master. I've got my poor cohort. I'm just not bringing him up to the same level as Lark. I'm not making him cry in critiques.
That takes a special skill. I've not had any single person cry in any of my critiques either. So.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's not it. I don't know what the secret sauce is here, you guys. I feel like I've got a great cohort. I guess I'm just not pushing them hard enough. Tomorrow I got to come up with a harder challenge than the Norman Rockwell. So.
That was pretty awesome, though. I have to say that was
a lot of fun.
I sent you an email earlier on, Mason, but that owl one was great. I thought that was excellent. The humor involved in that one was brilliant.
That guy is so funny. Steven is he's got a very dry sense of humor, and I love it. And when he submitted that, I'm like, that's exactly what I expected from him. It was like, okay, he's going to send me something where it's all him, and there's going to be some weird little tidbits in there I'll have to find, like the jar of Jiffy peanut butter. I thought was hilarious. So, but yeah, it was a fun assignment. It was fun.
Now, Tiff has some images to share as well, don't you, Tiff?
Yeah, I do actually. Sorry, I'll just that it comes through a bit clearer. Hopefully.
This is people auditioning for your cohort, Mason. You can steal them.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be starting a new cohort in February, so get your applications in, everybody, if you want to be on a loser's cohort.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Currently black.
Just waiting for Australia to connect.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe I'm on the best internet this country has to offer, and it's like 10 years old compared to America. It's terrible.
Oh, cool.
You can see something other than black screen?
Yeah, that's a cool shot.
Yeah. Okay, it's from Justin Osmer.
That's awesome.
One from Laurie Novak.
I'm sorry, Tiff, did that last one say he shot that on an iPhone?
Yes, iPhone 6.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
definitely. Awesome. Sorry, back to Laurie. Okay. Oops, this one. All right. Sorry, Tanya. This is from Tanya Wallace, one of the heroes of the Arcanum, and she was just featured on Karen Hutton's blog today. Sorry, I can't make it big, but this is her tribute to Jessica Lark and Ayla. It's a mashup. It's a boudoir in an abandoned scape. So you have to look on Twitter for the bigger one. This is also one from Lisa Stephen. So, from Joshua Tree, I think.
Snow and Joshua Tree. Wow. Yeah, for those of you guys not in the States, Joshua Tree's very far south, and it's I don't know how rare it is to get snow there, but it's got to be once every 10 years kind of an event. That's pretty epic. That's cool.
Yeah. Awesome. And the last one. This isn't quite a portfolio piece. I just put this up because it made me laugh. I don't always study, but when I do, I have the Creation Wars playing in the background. So from Molly Kate, because she has a test on Friday, and so her priorities were with us with the Creation Wars. So that's why I shared that one.
Hey,
Yep, and that's it.
we got a couple of messages saying that some of them are coming through for the watches. I saw all of them, I think, but maybe they didn't all get through. Oh no, seeing it all now. Anyway, regardless, we'll get you to share those links with Stu, and he can put them up into the final edit.
Yeah, just email them over, Tiff, and I'll grab them.
Yep.
Well, and people can go on Twitter and see those too, right, Tiff?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. That was cool. Yeah, I'm playing a lot with the iPhone at the moment as well. I might actually share a couple of things that I've done. Where am I going to go here? I'll probably have to do the Jessica-like professional Facebook share as well, because
Yeah.
Alright, sorry to do this, guys, but I've got to get going now. I've got to go
Okay.
meet
Thanks
someone.
for your help.
Alright, cheers.
Bye, Tiff.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Ollie, I just got an email that my Tim Tams will be here on Thursday.
Oh, dude, call me when they arrive. I want to see your face.
Yeah, I'll save them for a hangout or something. We'll enjoy it.
Honestly, I think we should make videos and put them in the Grand Library, and then get sponsorship.
People will be like, I don't get it. I don't see what these guys' obsession is with it. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's worth
Yeah,
the effort.
So you've got the iPhone 6 Plus, Ollie. What do you think of that? Big form factor.
It's big, but it's beautiful. It's so much better than the 4. This is one I shot just yesterday, I think. Yeah, last night actually. And it's a little bit of a play around, but I've got a friend of mine, Dan O'Day, who shoots some really square, minimalist kind of shots. It's kind of his inspiration when I shot it. And I entitled it the orbit of the crescent moon, just for the fact that I never title my images anything. But I felt like I wanted to title that one, so that's kind of fun. And then another one. Let's see if I can find it.
So you added a texture to the sky there, Ollie, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you do it on the phone, or did you do it?
No, it was all edited on the phone. For anyone who's got the iPhone, that particular, I'm just going to look it up on my phone because I've forgotten what it's called. The texture editor was called Distressed FX, F for Foxtrot, X for X-ray. Distressed FX iPhone app, and it's really easy to add textures and play with the opacity levels, and yeah, it's a funky little app. And then this one was one I also shot and edited on the iPhone. And that was on my way home back to Auckland after our week away down south, and it's just a beautiful sunset, and totally loving the dynamic range of that iPhone 6 Plus. It's cool. That's me. Although, having said that that's me, I'm keen to open up a Sphere 2 iPhoneography cohort, because I know there's people out there that want to do that.
I think it's definitely something that people are eager to learn on, and it's now, I think, finally getting to the point where the editing and everything you can do on the camera, on the phone itself, it's really an all-in-one device. You can shoot, edit, and then publish, all from something that fits in your pocket. Is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And the apps, there's always someone making a new app, but there's some really, really cool apps that just make the process so simple. And the new iPhone can do burst mode for your HDR, so that your images are so much closer together when they match it, so you get very little ghosting, if at all. There's some really powerful stuff that phone is doing, and some of those apps are really starting to take advantage of that processing speed in your pocket. So I'm loving it, especially that slow-mo. I don't know how the slow-mo came through on the share, because the screen tends to jump a bit, but man, that slow-mo stuff is so much fun.
with it too, and it's amazing how clear it is, considering it's 240 frames from that little teeny sensor. It's just incredible. And you're talking about dynamic range. Here's a shot I did of my son, straight off the screen here. But
wow,
even the iPhone 5 would have blown out those highlights. And you can get these little nuances now with it that make it a serious camera, I think. Whereas before it was kind of nice to have and it was good for grab shots, but now it's got the resolution and the range to pull down some seriously good images and video. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Put a little plug in. I've got a good friend that's an author, and he specializes in Mac and Apple products and photography. And he's written a book, iPad for Photographers book. His name is Jeff Carlson, and I think he's now working on an iPhone version of that too. So before, we've always looked at the phones and the iPads as accessories to our cameras, and now I think they're moving towards becoming everything.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Totally. A friend of mine has a camera that has Wi-Fi, and maybe I'm just behind the times. Maybe everyone's doing this and I haven't caught up yet, but it took a whole lot of photos when they came to visit us, and then it was on their point and shoot camera, and within 5 minutes she came over with her iPad and started showing us through the shots that she'd just taken, and I was like, how did you so quickly? And she's just got Wi-Fi built into her camera, and she was sending them as she was taking them. I don't know where, Dropbox or iCloud or something, but basically had them instantly available on her iPad, and I just, man, I'm not doing that yet. I think I'm right up there with the gadgets, but I just kind of didn't cotton on to that idea of Wi-Fi direct from your camera up to the cloud and then sharing it on some other device. So cool.
Yeah, I've been able to do that with the. I have a Fuji X-T1 that will send Wi-Fi right to the iPad, and I've had some luck with the iFi cards in my Canon cameras. So you've got in my 5D Mark III, I've got the CF card slot and an SD card slot, and so I send the RAW file to the CF card, and I send a large JPEG to the iFi card, and it sends that file wirelessly to the iPad as I'm shooting. And so I've actually done that with portraits where I've had the iPad kind of sitting there and the portraits pop up and people can look at them and say, oh, that looks good. You see, I want to bring your chin up a little bit, I want to do this, do that, and here's the light. And you can review it on the big screen, and it's instantaneous. And it's just one more step to be broadcasting that to the cloud or something.
The A7 can do the Wi-Fi to your phone and then straight up to the cloud, but I've seen the iFi thing work as well, because I was in a studio doing a studio course, and the guy who was shooting was using the iFi to send it straight to his iMac, and then it was coming up within Lightroom, so everyone could see everything about it, just as if he'd plugged in the card to the computer. It was really impressive. It happened quick as well. So
it's incredibly fast. Yeah, I use an app on the iPad called Shutter Snitch, and it works well with the iFi cards. iFi has an app too, but it's not as elegant. But the Fuji app for the X-T1 is really nice. You can remotely control the camera. You can use it just to receive your photos. You can browse the camera later. So what I do a lot was if I'm traveling, as I won't take the laptop anymore, I'll just take the iPad, and I just have the iPad Mini little Retina, and I'll go to a coffee shop and browse the camera from the iPad and pull off just the images I want, pull them across Wi-Fi to the iPad, edit them in Snapseed, and put them up on Google Plus or Facebook. In minutes. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's crazy.
Aren't we talking gobbledygook? 10 years ago would be like, what?
Well, I often tell people that if I'd had this technology when I was a photojournalist, I would have been able to work out in the field an extra 2 or 3 hours a day, because you'd shoot up into a point and you're always watching your watch. You're like, well, I've got to go back and soup my film. I've got to scan in the images, and I've got to process them, and then I got to get them across the desk, the editor's desk. And now photojournalists are essentially broadcasting live to their editors' desks, and they don't have to go back to the newspaper. And I would have killed for the quality. I think about we had a $25,000 film scanner at one newspaper I worked at, and I think the iPhone probably makes much better images than that thing did off of negatives. So, now with something you carry in your pocket that also happens to be a phone, you can do a better job than all that money, although that was 20 years ago.
Sometimes the phone part of it gets in the way. You're trying to shoot something, and some bugger rings you, and you're like, why did you ring me right now? I was in the middle of shooting.
Using my camera, yeah. Somebody needs to make an app that puts it into do not disturb mode when you activate the camera. I'm surprised there isn't an app out there for that. But.
You guys both use Canon, don't you? Yeah,
Yes.
I know that Ollie does. So I might bring it up in the show next week, but I was interested. Have you had a look at the young new lenses? They usually make flashes and stuff like that, but they've started to do clone lenses. Thoughts? Because I read something about them yesterday, and actually they don't seem to be huge, or at least the one I read about doesn't seem to be hugely worse than the Canon equivalent, but it was worse in some ways and better in other ways.
Being hugely worse. You'd have to test them, sure, but man, if anyone can make glass, they'll be able to, so it'd be fun to have a play with them for the price point that they're at.
Yeah, because they're doing a 2x teleconverter now as well, which is the...
I saw that today, and that one really intrigued me because that's a market where you're not talking about really high precision optics, and it's a fairly simple, it's just a metal tube, right? So, you could, they chose, their first lens was the Nifty 50, which, the Canon version is about as clunky as you can get. And so they picked a good one to clone because the quality is not going to be that much worse than the Canon one. But the extender, I mean, those things are $500. If they can do that for half the price, I wouldn't hesitate to buy one of the extenders. I don't know if I'd buy a 70-200 2.8 from them or something like that. I have some a Yongnuo wireless transmitter that I use with my Fuji X-T1 to transmit to my Canon speedlights. And the Canon version of that same transmitter doesn't work on the Fuji, but the Yongnuo one does, even though it looks absolutely identical, and it, by all intents and purposes, probably made in the same place. I don't know, but for some reason it fires the radio. It's for my radio Speedlight 600s, and it works great on the Fuji. I put it on the Canon, it doesn't work that well. The Fuji works great. So their quality is kind of there.
Yeah, their stuff works great on the Sony as well. I just buy the ones that are meant for Canon and then chuck them on the A7, and it works as if it was made by Sony. It was really good. And it wouldn't work on some of the Sony cameras because they have a different hot shoe, but the more recent ones have the Canon style hot shoe, so it's fine, and it's been really good. So I was interested in the lenses. Not that I would ever buy one because I don't use Canon, but it was interesting to see someone new trying lenses and stuff and putting a little bit of pressure on them.
I mean, I understand the cost of technology, and I understand the cost of production, etc., etc., etc. I sure wouldn't want to be grinding that glass myself, but anyone who can bring that cost of lenses down is going to be doing everyone a favor, because that's the killer. I mean, you can't swap systems because you invest $20,000 in your lenses and you're stuck. Doesn't matter what the competition comes out with the camera, you kind of don't really want to change because you're not ever going to get the same price you paid for the lenses when you sell them secondhand. So what do you do? Throw them all away, So.
Yeah. Or you buy a Sony, get the adapter.
Yeah, true. Which I have, because I've got a Sony video camera, but it's got an E mount, so it's not a Micro Four Thirds or anything. But I've got the what do they call it? Speed booster for my Canon lenses, and it's amazing. Gives you an extra stop of light, gives you the full width of your lens on a nice little crop sensor. So yeah, it's good to be able to use those adapters, but. Yeah, I mean, you've got to test all those lenses and see what the sharpness is like and the focusing speed and all the rest of it. But Planet 5D is probably my favorite of all of the blogs. I've interviewed the guy Mitch who runs it. He's a really nice bloke, and they do, when that stuff comes out, they tend to have someone who grabs them all and does tests on them and stuff. So I'll wait and see what they do and what they say, see what happens.
Yeah.
Cool. Speaking of your video camera, Ollie, the new action cam, the Sony action cam, was announced today, and it's now got 4K in the little compact action cam. So
Wow,
it's worth
amazing.
keeping an eye on as well.
Yeah, I saw that DJI was going to be at CES is releasing the Inspire camera on a stick. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen it.
No, that you can. I don't know if they're actually releasing the camera separately or if they're selling the stick for those people that have Inspire copters. But you can detach the camera, and it's a gimbal stick, and it's got a battery in it, and you basically run the. It's got remote little buttons on the handle, and you can run this thing as a Steadicam. Pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
That's 4K raw, right? I mean, I don't know what the codec is for the video on that, but it's 4K, I believe.
Yeah, and that's the tricky part is 4K is 4K, but it's not 4K. I mean, if you can get raw footage at 4K, then you're doing really well. But you know, cameras will come out. I mean, the iPhone, you'll see the next iPhone or the one after that will be able to do 4K, but the codec it'll use will be crap, and you won't be able to grade it too far because it's 4K, but it's baked, and you can't push or pull it too much. So it's really the combination of everything, the raw, the frame rate, if you can get 200 frames out of it or whatever, as well as the pixel count. So it's a combination of everything still. So.
Well, it's pretty incredible. They can take, 4K is, when we talk about still photos, isn't very high resolution, but the fact that you're cramming that many pixels through a processor that fast is astounding.
I think it's 9 megapixels, isn't it? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. I don't remember what the specs are exactly, but I know
I've got
that.
An app on my iPhone 6 Plus, which through the processor shoots 20. We operate at 25 frames per second. It'll shoot 25 frames per second images and crunch them into a video. So you're getting almost 4K. I think it has to upscale it by 17% to make it a 4K size, true 4K. But I mean, 17% is not that much. And the processor, it fills up your hard drive though, man. You need the big iPhones because I think you're talking gigabytes worth of footage, So you don't really want to use it as an A camera, but the fact that I've got an app that allows me to shoot almost 4K video on my phone right now is just crazy. I can't believe it.
It's. I've got the GoPro Hero 4, which does pretty nice 4K, and I haven't done a lot with it yet. But it's it's nice to have that, and I'm not producing stuff in 4K. I'm not really producing much at all right now, but I can downsample it and it looks really good. But I haven't tried to grade it at all. I haven't done much. I mean, I dabbled with it. I had the old Hero 3 Plus, and I tried some grading in Premiere Pro and Speed Grade, and it's all up here because I'm a stills guy. But I've actually found that running it through Photoshop was more intuitive for me for grading the video. But it took my computer, which is a pretty souped-up machine, it just sat on it for hours trying to render it. It's just crazy.
It's a huge amount of data.
Yeah. Don't know how you video guys endure the spinning beach ball that you have to put up with.
Well, I just recently invested in the Mac Pro. I got an 8-core, and that thing is fast. But even that on 4K, it can handle 4K, but it doesn't operate like an iPhone 20 would in our imaginations right now.
Yeah.
It's fast and it handles things really well, but when it comes to 4K, it still slows down. So, yeah, you've really got to have a good system to be able to render it. We kind of operate under the guise of here at the studio. We've got cameras that'll shoot 4K. My Sony does, and we've got a Blackmagic 4K cinema camera. but really none of our clients are actually asking for it. It's just more the fact that we want to show that we can if we need to. Because it's still, I mean, New Zealand's always behind the times a little bit, but we don't have clients who want 4K yet. So,
well, if you're doing a real important project, you can future-proof it a little bit, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking future-proofing with a system that needs to be operating at 4 times the speed of the last one. It takes up so much more room, bandwidth, across your network, hard drives. It's just chewing stuff up, man.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, I
kind
don't
of
shoot much.
want to.
Yeah, I don't shoot much video with my Canons, but when I do, the cards just fly. It's just it's nuts. Yeah, I used to shoot more when I had the 5D Mark II. I actually used to shoot more video with it, but I've gotten away from it a little bit just because it's such a for me it's such a time-consuming process to edit it and do stuff with it. It's so much easier just to process a photo and put it online. Edit a video is an ordeal. It's an ordeal.
I've got the Sony FS700 and the Odyssey monitor, and it's a really great combination because the Odyssey brings the FS700 right up as a great camera, but with half a terabyte of memory in the back of it, I can shoot 2K RAW for something like 20 minutes or 12 minutes or something like that. But 12 minutes footage is a lot of footage if you're only shooting a short piece for online or something. But if you're out shooting stuff for a TV commercial or anything like that, it's not enough, man. You got to have more, and these hard drives need to be top line SSDs, which cost like $500 each, maybe $1,000 if you go for the half terabyte ones. And you need 2 in the back of it because it's got to write between both cards. That's how much data it is.
Wow.
So it's full on, man. It's really challenging to the workflow to be able to try and bring that 4K in. It's really crazy.
You can see why Gina sticks with the iPhone. She's like, well, if it works, why would I go down that road and have to recalibrate everything?
Yeah.
For that higher capacity is crazy. Then you hear people complain when they buy a camera like the A7R or the Nikon D800 or A10. They say, "Oh, these files are so big." I'm like, "Well, shoot video for a while." You can shoot a lot of raw files on a card. You can shoot all day on a 64 gig card, but you can only shoot for a few minutes with video. It's crazy. Crazy. Well, Ollie, are you ever going to, you kind of talked about starting a cohort for iPhone video, but are you thinking of those being upper sphere? And maybe we're talking out of school here, but are you envisioning that as an upper sphere thing?
I think so. The kind of feeling that I'm getting from the Masters at the moment is that the foundation spheres, and even if that's just sphere 0, levels 1 to 10, but currently it's 1 to 20. So I kind of feel like that should be a general. I think that the culture of the Arcanum and the way of learning and the opportunities that are available, like there are people who are currently in the wait list who have been there for months and months and months, up to a year or more. And I haven't selected them because on their application they say they want to be landscape photographers or they want to be street photographers, and I'm just doing general. And I've had people decline my invitation to join the cohort because I'm in a general cohort and they want to do X, Y, Z. But I really think that the first levels need to be general. People need to be ready for the idea that to get into the Arcanum, you're going to come in, you're going to get a whole, truckload of different opportunities thrown your way, but at least you're in the system. I haven't chosen these people because they don't want to do general according to their application, and so these guys are still sitting there, and they're probably amazing photographers because they're right up the list on the how much enthusiasm they've got. So I think we need to kind of restructure it a bit and let everyone know that apply to be in the Arcanum. If you get chosen, you're going to be doing a general cohort for at least the first 10 levels, if not 20. At the end of that, you know, even at level 11 or level 10, you can start to focus on where you want to be. And I think a general master should be able to take someone at level 10 in any genre. I'm not an overly proficient landscape photographer or a street photographer. You know, I'm doing general because I do a lot of general and I want to do video eventually, but I'm not going to start a level 1 video cohort. That's crazy. You know, there's so much to learn in video, let alone how to post without splitting posts in Google+. You know, it's like, we need to split them up. So I'm thinking level 21 or level 20 or whatever it's going to be and above for iPhoneography, for filmmaking, for photographers. I want people who've been in the Arcanum. I don't have to teach them how to run a Hangout, but that they can have 10 levels of amazing, you know, focus and just drive on one particular area. So that's kind of my way of thinking. But you know, nothing's official yet, and we can still currently only have one cohort. So as things progress, we'll all see that change, I guess.
Well, I think that, you know, folks, if there's anybody left watching that's in that applicant pool, it behooves you to consider this: the first 20 levels are not the next year of your life. I think that a lot of people have been looking at the initial, you know, master selection as if it were some sort of permanent thing. And you know, the truth is, if you're a really adept photographer and really active and you've got the time, you could get through the first 20 levels in a month and a half, 2 months at the fastest, I think. And then you're on to video, and you're on to, you know, more specific things like landscape or macro or whatever it is that you are truly passionate about. But I'm 100% with you that those foundation spheres need to be general, and that masters in leading those spheres can help people. I mean, it's not like you're wasting your time in those spheres.
Totally.
You know, look at Stuart. Stuart, you know, you're a very good photographer, and you're kind of standing by level 19 right now, right?
Correct,
So, but even though you're a great photographer, you came in, you learned stuff.
Every day, every single day.
And I think that people need to get past this idea that a couple of things. You know, if you're in the antechamber and you haven't been chosen yet, there might be a couple reasons. One, if in your application it says, and this is my big tip for anybody, if it says, "Wow, I can't wait to be your apprentice, Trey," you're not going to get chosen because Trey's one guy and he's not running a cohort. And I don't know of any masters out there that are going to be like, okay, I'll do that. I'll take this person on. And the other thing is, you know, if you say, yeah, I'm already very skilled and I'm a professional landscape photographer, I'm a professional portrait photographer, been doing this for 20 years, I'm stuck in a rut, you know, but I already know everything there is to know, then, you know, what do you want? You need to articulate, you know, what you think the Arcanum can do for you. And I'm curious, you know, I look through the applications all the time, and even though I've got a full cohort, I still probably once a week go through and look at the applicants, and I'm intrigued by some of them because I'm not sure what they think they're getting into. And I'm hoping our message is getting clearer as time goes on. But
yeah, I mean, I think the fundamental thing is that you've got to get into the Arcanum. Do whatever you do to get into the Arcanum. Whoever's cohort, you know, as masters come out of this, as the fast track program and the one that Jessica's working on all comes to fruition, and we're getting more and more masters, they're each going to be looking for 20, you know, like 20 apprentices they can bring in. You've got to be willing to take on the fact that the master you get in with them originally may not be Jessica Lark or Trey Ratcliff or Mason Marsh. It might actually be Ollie Dale, and that's not a bad thing because you're going to get in, you're going to be making friends, you're going to be learning a lot from your fellow apprentices, and you're in the system, you know, and then you can start to branch out from that. But I agree. It's interesting. There's a lot of people in there who applied, got really enthusiastic, and then now they don't really care. And wading through that stuff's really, really tricky when you've got a couple of thousand applications to look through. But keep updating your application. Keep an open mind. Include general photography as one of the things you want to do, because there's a lot of masters who are doing general photography, and it's going to increase the chance that you get selected. The more you pick, I want to be in so-and-so's cohort, the less chance you have of that master actually seeing you, and every other master just goes, oh, okay, well, I'll leave you for them then. And so you end up in limbo, and you don't go anywhere. So.
Well, I'll put, my apprentice that had that photo on tonight, Paul, is a landscape and wildlife photographer. He's not a portrait guy, but look at the photo he made. I think there's something to be said for stepping out of your genre for a month or two. It's not a permanent shift, but stretch a little. Humble yourself a little bit, stretch, and I bet you Paul would say that going through that activity probably made him a better landscape photographer, because he had to think about light and composition in a whole different way.
And if you are a landscape or a street or whatever, if you're that genre and you only hang out with people in that genre, you're kind of limiting your universe. Go hang out with wedding photographers. Go shoot with a wedding photographer. Go assist. Go find a photographer that does something that you've never tried before and hang out for the day. Go on a photo walk. Whatever. You never know what you're going to learn from them in their genre that you can pull in and add to what you're doing, and just makes you that much better of a photographer for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm wondering if there shouldn't be a video that's broadly disseminated, kind of tips to getting chosen. And I would love to work on it. I would contribute, because I think that there's got to be frustration out there. People are like, why am I not being chosen? All these masters are coming online. I'm watching the creation wars. I'm seeing these people saying they're building cohorts. I haven't received an email yet.
What would be really interesting, actually, is if there was maybe 10 or 15 masters just gave their #1 reason of what they like to see in an application. Just a one-liner from 10 or 15 different masters, and then that gets cut together and then displayed to everyone, and then you get a nice big spread of what might help your application. That would work quite well, I think.
Yeah,
definitely money. I'll put my address online, or share my screen. Just send lots of money and put your username underneath it, and there you go.
Yeah, you'll get in. Well, when I was choosing my cohort, I had a guy that emailed me. He watched my Meet the Master video because a TIFF or somebody had shared it on Twitter, and he watched. And he says, "Hey, I want to be in your cohort." Boom, done. You took the time to seek me out. You went to my website. You looked at my work. You found my email link, which isn't the easiest thing to find there, and you sent me an email that you have that. You asked Stuart, what is it that gets you in? Desire. Motivation. I don't want anybody in my cohort that doesn't want me, and all he kind of jokes. People that want to join Mason's cohort. I don't have any followers. I'm. I mean, Trey picks up more followers while he's eating breakfast every day than I have. And so but I think that I give people a good time in the cohort. So if you want to be in a cohort and you're waiting for a celebrity to lead it, you're going to be waiting. If you just want to get in, like Ollie's saying, you want to get in and get to the higher levels and get to specializing and learn and just grow.
Yeah.
Then.
And the other thing is that the masters who come through the Arcanum as apprentices, were you one of those, or were you fast track? How did that work?
I was a fast track master.
Fast track. Yeah, cool. Right. But I think Les was an apprentice, right? And now he's a master.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I know that when I looked at the Arcanum when I first saw the announcement a year and a half ago, I looked at some of the people that they were hoping to get in as masters, and I was like, this is going to be amazing. I want to be in their cohort, right? Jeremy Cowart, if he was a master, I would be in his cohort. But that's what being famous will do. People know you, people have heard about you, people see you all the time, and they can trust. There's that kind of brand trust where they think, if I get in that guy's cohort, I'm definitely going to get value for my money. Like, holy cow, Les has been an apprentice, he's come through as a master now. You're going to get an awful lot of value for your money out of someone like that. And I think, like you say, we've kind of all got to take a bit of humble pie and just think, I got to get in this system. I got to get in the Arcanum. I'll go with whoever master has gone through the process and the other masters trust them and have approved them as a master. That's good enough for me. I'm going to learn heaps. I'm going to get in. Then I'll be able to put my hand up and say, I want to do Ollie's iPhoneography course or filmmaking for photographers or Gina's filmmaking, cinematography, And every master brings something different. So again, if you're out there, just kind of be ready to go with whoever you can get in with, because you're going to learn an awful lot, and then you're already in the system and you get far further ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially now. If you can get in now and work through quick, you'll be in the vanguard. I mean, you'll have prime spots for being chosen for those upper spheres. We're desperate for people, so yeah, I'd love to have more. Yeah, I'm excited, to see new masters come on that have come up through the ranks, with this Path to the Protege program. I think those are going to be the rock stars of the Arcanum, because they are they're vetted. they're fully invested in this idea, and they get it. And I'm excited. I have two guys in my cohort who are in the Path to the Protege, and I can't wait to see them proceed. And they're already working on it, and they're doing great things. And they're also, doing their Arcanum stuff and living lives, and I love it. I love it. I think I know you two guys are into this. We're preaching to the choir here, but we think this is pretty darn cool.
There might still be someone watching. You never know.
I don't know. I don't have. You have that screen, right?
No, I don't have that screen. I have no idea who's watching. We may just be talking to ourselves, but
yeah.
At least
we're talking to Stuart.
We feel like we've achieved something.
Yeah. We're talking to Stuart, who's up in the middle of the night. So if you'll listen, then we'll talk, right?
Yeah. Well, what about you, Stu? You going to be a master?
I would hope so at some point. Have to see how that goes, but that would be something I'd like to do and help out the people coming in at the entry levels and get them accustomed to how the Arcanum works and get them working together, because one of the things that I've noticed, and you guys will know as well, is that you learn probably more from the apprentices and just the daily interactions about photography than the master. I mean, it's great having the one-to-one time with you guys and the critiques and the hangouts and things like that, but just the amount of sharing that goes on within a cohort among the early levels and what you can learn from watching other people progress and watching their critiques as well is it's huge. So yeah, it's definitely something I'd want to get involved in at that early stage.
I'd be in your cohort just to listen to your voice. I mean,
I have a premium rate number for you, Mason.
Yeah. Maybe it's that headset that does it, but man, that brogue is just rich. It's like gravy. It's like
this is my posh phone voice.
Yeah. when you're not on these hangouts, you can barely understand you. You're just like, right?
Exactly.
Mouthful of marble.
I have to say, not being from America, we do have a bit of an advantage having a crazy accent. Tends to wow people a little bit when you first start talking, and they're like, "What are you saying?"
Well, you're automatically, to Americans, you guys sound incredibly intelligent.
What do you mean?
It's the Simon Cowell syndrome or Gordon Ramsay syndrome. Automatically, if you are of the empire and have the accent, you have a you jump up several notches in credibility, and it's true. I mean, if you want to make somebody sound smart, give them a British or Scottish or Australian accent. You know, unless they're saying put some shrimp on the Barbie, they're going to sound pretty smart, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, not being from Australia, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, you just it. You know, okay. I'll ask you guys this: Do I have an accent?
Totally.
Yes,
Yeah?
absolutely.
Okay. See, it's funny, and since there's nobody watching, I can say this. My wife and I like to do accents. I like to impersonate accents. I find language incredibly fascinating, and the variabilities in dialects and stuff to be very entertaining. She finds it somewhat insulting to these cultures that I'm emulating, and so I say, well, you know, what if I did a British accent? Am I making fun of British people? No, it's just a British accent. Well, and so I've said to her a while back, I said, well, we have accents. Yeah, I'm doing an accent right now, I think. But of course, when I went through college, I was taught in my broadcast journalism classes that, Northwest North America is where we speak clear, perfect English.
Yeah, I mean,
The only thing I would say to that, Mason, is we can only confirm whether you speak proper English depending on whether you say aluminium or aluminum. Which one is it?
It's definitely aluminium.
That's fine. You've been approved then.
Yeah.
It's all in the spelling, Stu, because aluminum doesn't have the I that makes it aluminium for us. So it's not just a way of saying a word. In New Zealand, we don't say the letter R very well. So, like word, for example, we call it word. And if I'm talking to an American, I have to say word because I need to pronounce that R, because without it, you just don't get understood. I've literally been in America and people are saying, what? Can you say that again? And so you've got to say it with an American accent so that they can actually hear what you're saying. Without it, it's crazy. Same with Scotland, you know. I'm sure Stuart could come up with a few phrases that would leave us baffled as to whether he was speaking at all.
Yeah.
It's like Klingon.
Yeah. So I've been
Yeah.
challenged by Tanya to say, because our vowels are pretty crap in New Zealand, but having said that, my particular accent from Auckland isn't as bad as some New Zealand Kiwi accents. But anyway, she wants me to say, 6 fish and chips, please. I will go eat them on my deck. So there you go, Tanya. I hope that made you giggle.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, Tanya. Yeah.
Australians speak like this, you see. If I speak
Yeah.
like this, then Australians can understand me.
So, somebody just sent me a message saying you can get Tim Tams on Amazon. I love it.
Obviously watching Blade.
Yeah, you've just started a surge of Tim Tam sales in the U.S. Yeah.
With all my 12 followers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Accents thing. That's so. I had a friend that when I was working on tall ships who was Scottish, claimed to be an immigrant from Scotland, but it turned out his family had been in California for years. But the more intoxicated he got, the thicker the brogue got, until the point where you could not understand him. And we would go to these bars, and he would get into fights with guys, and he would. I remember vividly one time, one of the other people on the boat had goaded him into picking a fight with a guy. He's like, "Hey, we're sailors. We're supposed to get in fights, you know." And this guy, he poured a beer over this guy's shoulder to instigate this fight, and the guy jumped up and yelled, "What?" You know, and Michael went into this thing. I think he was saying, "Do you want to go?" Do you want to go?" over and over, but you couldn't understand when the guy's saying, "What?" Like, are you having a stroke? What's your problem? And they both were thrown out of the bar, and they ended up sitting out on the sidewalk and becoming fast friends. But yeah, he had this really beautiful thick brogue, and he just nourished it, and it turned out he was
a square go, pal.
Turns out he was from Southern California and had to really practice the brogue, I think.
It would have been "Giya a square go, pal," would be something along the lines of what he would have been saying to him.
Yeah, it didn't sound anything like that. So he didn't know what he was saying. He didn't know what he was saying.
Have you seen the movie Snatch with Brad Pitt?
Yes.
No.
It's totally it. He plays this character that's, I think it's Irish or something like that. I think it's pikey is the term for the way he speaks, but oh my goodness, it's literally, the character is based on not being able to understand a single word of it.
Yeah. You like dogs? You like dags? Like, what? You like dags? Like dogs? Dogs? Yes, dags.
The worst accent I think I ever saw in a film was Billy Connolly is in The Last Samurai, and him with his thick Scottish accent. For some reason, they made him speak in an Irish accent, and it's just terrible. And you sit there and you think, 99% of the people watching that movie, if he'd have just spoke in his normal accent, they would have been none the wiser. But instead, they made him speak some Irish accent, and it was awful, really bad.
Hilarious. Let's see. Have you guys ever seen? It was blanking on it now. It's a road. I think it's just called Road Trip, and it's a British film, and it's got oh man, why am I blanking on his name? Anyway, it's these two British comedians, and they go on this road trip through the British countryside, and they spend all of their meal times talking to each other in different accents, and they do Michael Caine through the years, and it really is brilliant because they're like, Michael Caine, when he started out, he was really sharp, and they talk, they go through how Michael Caine's accent has degraded over the years, and now it's just this muddy mouth kind of garble. And
is that the one with Steve Coogan in it?
Steve Coogan, that's it. Yes, it's a brilliant movie.
It's called The Trip. It's from 2010.
Yes, The Trip, and they've got a new one out. I haven't seen it yet. It's in my Netflix queue, actually, to watch it. But
The Trip to Italy?
Yes. But that first one is a really unusual movie. If you haven't seen it, you would love it. And
I think I've seen clips of this on the TV. Is it Rob Brydon as the other guy?
Yes.
Yeah, Rob Brydon. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's and they played themselves in the movie. And the premise of the movie is that Steve Coogan is supposed to have gone on this trip with his girlfriend, but she's breaking up with him, and so he invites Rob Brydon with him, and they don't really get along really well. They're kind of friends, but not really, and they end up going to all of these quaint little bed and breakfasts all through the north of England, trying all this fancy food and basically trying to outdo each other on accents and jokes, and it's a keeper. It's a great movie.
I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you'd like it. You'd like it. It's very different. Kind of melancholy in spots, but I liked it.
Nice. All right, I'm going to have to head off because I've got children to feed and a wife to placate for being at home without me helping out on a day off. So
yep.
I'm going to head home. Stu has to go to bed just in time for the bit where he gets up and goes to work or something like that.
Yeah, I got to get the kids off to school in about 3 hours.
Oh my God, Stuart! I don't know how you do it, man. Anyway, Ollie, thanks for taking this on for Trey. I really enjoyed being on with you. It was lots of fun. So.
Thanks, man. It's fun to have you here. It was an honor to be kind of holding the reins for him, I guess.
Well, it was a good choice.
Trying to keep the ship steering in the same direction so that it's still there when he gets back.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to Gino. Maybe he'll be back at some point. But
Gino just gave up. He's like, screw you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drink some more. Yeah. So. Thanks, Stu, for everything you do.
No problem. Happy to help. What's that?
I want that on a T-shirt. Thanks, Stu, for everything you do.
All right,
Right.
you guys. I'll
Thank
sign
you.
off.
Thanks,
And
Stu.
I will watch next week. I'm not going to lose next week because I'm not going to be on.
I can
Yeah.
fix it for you if you want to lose.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take
See you
care.
later. Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.